Hi everyone, hope you're doing good. I'm Atul and welcome to another session in the series of product management basics. So in this session, we'll discuss about product management frameworks. What is a product management framework? And we'll go through four different type of frameworks. So these have come in through various companies like Amazon, Spotify, or various observations from people who have worked in day in and day out in the product. So we'll be discussing about the Kano model of product prioritization, the working backward framework from Amazon, the think it, build it, ship it, tweak it from Spotify, and hook model framework from Niral. So this will be the agenda of our session today, and a bit of introduction about myself. I'm Atul. I have more than 4 years of product management experience. My domain knowledge includes product development and growth. I work in a BFSI, and my educational background is from MBA from Institute of Foreign Trade. So yeah, let's start with the session now. So the first framework that we discuss over here is the Kano model framework. Kano model framework was proposed by a Japanese researcher called Noriaki Kamo in the year 1984. So basically, this model helps to prioritize the product features based on the customer preferences. Now, this prioritization is in four categories of a basic feature, the satisfier features, the delighters feature, and the features that a customer is indifferent to. We'll discuss it further in detail in the coming slides. First, let's take a look at what a Kano model framework, a Kano model, framework essentially looks like. So basically, what it is depicted in this model is that the features, the ultimate aim or goal of a product feature is the satisfaction to a customer. So that would be the one dimension that you can see plotted on the x-axis. So this satisfaction feature, so basically the zero would be a customer who is indifferent, like who's neither satisfied nor satisfied nor very satisfied with the product feature. And again, it goes to top level, as in he's very satisfied, and the negative values would be that he's not satisfied. So obviously, the ultimate aim or ultimate goal of a product feature would be that the end user is uh, satisfied or very impressed with the feature. So but that cannot happen. So that there comes the second dimension of the model, which is the functionality. Now, how do we define functionality? Is the cost that goes into building of these features. So say you are building say you're a product manager at Instagram and you are proposing to build the new story feature at Instagram. So obviously it's a good feature. It would come into a delighted category. But then again, you have to analyze how much of cost input, how much of man hours, how much of technology would go into building that feature, and is there a return or investment on those features as well. So there is this constraint of functionality or the cost that you are associating with each of these features. So again, we go through each of these functionalities for Kano model. First is the satisfier. Now, satisfier is has a linear relationship with the level of satisfaction that it provides to the customers and the functionality that is associated with it. So let's take an example of the mileage of a car. So it has been seen that as much of research probably that is being in R&D of a automobile factory. So it gives impressive results, but then it brings that level of satisfaction in customers as well. So essentially, it has a linear relationship. The other example can be, uh, say, the bandwidth that is being provided by your Wi-Fi connection. So, if you're getting a better download speed, then obviously the satisfaction of the customers is increasing. But then again, the cost of functionality is increasing as well. As in, you have to probably the companies will have to lay a better optical fiber line, or in a similar way, they'll have to invest in the technology that is associated with bringing in that satisfaction. So these features are the satisfiers which have a linear relationship with the functionalities or the cost associated with implementing these features. The next is the basic feature. So say you brought a phone. So what is the basic feature that you expect to be there in that phone? It can do calling, right? So also today, probably these this can be that basic apps can be installed in the phone. So we see that these basic features do not cross that functionality, do not cross that satisfaction threshold. So a small investment, as it is very clear from the graph, a small investment in the functionality for these features can always bring in a level of satisfaction to the end users. But then again, this level of satisfaction does not cross the threshold of basic minimum requirements. You'll always expect a phone to call. You will always expect, say, a car to have brakes, right? So these are the features which are categorized in this domain of being the basic features, which do not cross that threshold of satisfaction, but yet a small investment in the cost of implementing those features go a long way in delivering the overall product outlook. So these are the basic features. uh, what are the delighters? So the delighters are the features which bring in a wow factor with the end users. So, say when you used the iPhone for the first time, so the look and feel, the this sort of seamless interaction that you had with the phone, it brought in a wow feature. The first time that you had the story feature coming on Instagram, it was different. So again, delighters are a good to have feature in a product. So these features will bring in that X factor, bring in that wow factor, and but again, these are not the features that a customer cannot do without. It's always a good to have feature, but these are not the basic necessities that a product would expect you to have. So say you have a television, so a delighted feature that would be there in a television, say today, would be that it is able to connect with Alexa. So obviously you don't all like you don't always expect, at least till today, that television is able to be operated with Alexa. It's a good to have feature which you have if you have an ecosystem like that, wherein you have the Alexa enabled at your home. You're able to use that feature, so that comes in a delighter category. And that will not reduce the satisfaction level for the end user. So and then comes the indifferent features. So these features are usually not paid heed by the end users. So these are not utilized too much, and they are so these features are basically the ones in which the money should not be put in by the product companies as such. So yeah, so the customers are usually indifferent to these features and they don't use them. So these are the four basic categories in which a Kano model helps to categorize the product features. So yeah, the next feature that we discuss over here is the working backward framework, which has been used and popularized by Amazon. So what happens at Amazon in terms of developing a product feature is that uh, a finished product is described, keeping the customer problem at the center. So, and then the problem is taken up from there and worked in a way backwards so as to arrive at the product requirement and how the product will be developed. So, say I am developing a feature at Amazon for Alexa app, and I am saying that I want to develop a feature wherein the Alexa should be integrated with my television. Now, how will I prioritize it? Like, how do I prioritize this feature? So the framework that comes into use is that I will start with uh, evaluating what is the change that this product feature is going to bring in the life of the customers who are using Alexa. From there, this will move in a backward direction in terms of the complete journey of implementing this product requirement, and then the whole team needs to be convinced about these features, and then it goes into the development. So it starts with a small press release that the product managers at Amazon need to fulfill or come up with, wherein they have to mention in the heading what is the name the product in a way the reader will understand. Then in the subheading they'll describe who the market is for the product and what benefit do they get. So say while describing this feature that we need to build for Alexa, we will describe the market and what benefit are the customers getting from it. Then a summary will be given, then the problem will be given, the solution will be given. So this is essentially to give an overall idea about how the customer is connected with that feature. So this happens in the form of a press release, which is preceded by evaluating the opportunities, and then discovering more solutions out of it. Like this, so yes, we have prioritized that this is the customer's problem. Now we need to analyze what is the solutions, what are the features that we can propose to solve that problem. Then the roadmaps are being built, and basically then the PRDs are designed, and the tasks are assigned to the developers and product managers. So this whole cycle of analyzing the problem, analyzing the need of the customer, and then working backwards from it towards establishing this need as a product requirement is how Amazon works, and this framework would be the working backward framework. So yeah. Another framework which is used at a big organization is the think it, build it, ship it, and tweak it framework. Now, what happens in the product prioritization through this framework is that it is based solely on the autonomous working of teams. So, what happens in this framework is that there are certain small teams which are assigned autonomous tasks of fulfilling a customer requirement. Now, this the focus in this type of framework is on speed and the agility of the team. So, the usual belief of building a product feature or prioritizing it is not that it is going to work wonders in the future. It's more of just build fast and fail fast and learn from it in a much better manner. So a lot of time in this framework is spent on tweaking these frameworks so that the improvements in these frameworks are being done after the product is already been shipped. Now this framework is being applied in a lot of features by Spotify, wherein they have the organizational structure as such that the product team usually is divided into a lot of small teams which have their own anonymity and which have their own autonomous structure of working, wherein they can fulfill a task based on their own intuitions, based on their own authorities, and then sort of tweak it or sharpen their features over time. So a large part, as you can see in the graph itself, a large portion of time is spent in tweaking these products rather than thinking it and building it. So this is the philosophy that entails the think it, build it, ship it, and tweak it framework. Coming to the next framework and our final framework for today is the hooked model framework. Hooked model framework was proposed by Nir Ayal in his book Hooked, and this framework connects your solutions to the user's problem and form a habit. So the basic focus of this framework is that the user will keep coming to a product and keep using its features as long as these this is uh, ingrained in the user in the form of a habit. So this framework consists of four components of a trigger, which can be an external or an internal trigger, the action that the user takes, the reward that the user gets, and the investment which helps the company to grow. So we'll take it through an example, the whole model framework. So a simple example can be Google Pay. Now, Google Pay has a very simple UI on which the users can uh, scan a QR code and do the payment. So the triggers that helps the user to use the product again and again can be the internal trigger, wherein uh, the simple framework of the app helps the user to come back to the app again and again. The seamless behavior of the app helps the user or motivates the user to come in again and again. A few of these external triggers can be the notifications that keep coming up, wherein the app notifies you when your electricity bill is due or your telephone bill is due, and through a simple action of clicking on those notification, you can pay your electricity bill. So the key in action part of this framework is that it should be as simple as possible. So if we talk about, say, Instagram, wherein you can scroll the reels again and again. So just by a flick of your thumb you can go to the next reel, or just by a push button you can share the reel or the stories with your friends. So the action should be as simple as possible. So this is the philosophy of the hook model. Then again, how are the users rewarded? In the case of Google Pay that we are discussing, the users are rewarded through various cashbacks or various offers that are being offered to them. So today, probably, say if you even do a small transaction, you are offered with some kind of card, reward card that is being offered by Google Pay. So this is a huge level of gamification that has been done on this Google rewards, as compared to initial days wherein the rewards were in the form of cashbacks and all. Those have now converted in sort of partnerships with different companies, wherein reward cards are offered in terms of discounts or initial off on purchase of certain products. So this kind of gamification of the complete ecosystem in form of rewarding the end users comes as a third part of the whole model, wherein the user is rewarded for using an app, and the investment that is made is in the form of the data that is being put on the app. For if say you want to pay your electricity bill, you are entering your details on the application. So that is a sort of investment that is being done by the user for you. So this is the complete hook model framework. That is one other way in terms of prioritizing the product features, and which makes a product manager think that yes, I can probably implement this feature as next, because it sorts of hooks my customer and builds a sort of habit and helps him to come again and again and use that feature in the product again and again. So it sorts of writes the success story of the product by itself. So that would be the hook model framework. So yeah, so that's it for the session today. We discussed four types of framework in the session today. The Kano model framework, the working backward framework by Amazon, the think it, build it, ship it, tweak it by Spotify, and the hook model framework. Any doubts or any questions can be put up in the comments and we'll reach you. Thank you so much for joining the sessions. We'll meet in the next session. Thank you so much. Goodbye.